everyone, we're live.
Hello.
Good morning
Good
from
morning.
California. Hi, Gala.
Hello.
Yay. Today we're going to talk
We're
about
here.
how to spice up your opening lines. Woo, woo, woo. Gala and I here are writing teachers. I specialize in helping science fiction and fantasy writers. I'm an award-winning science fiction and fantasy writer, and I already said I specialize, and and I teach. I'm not quite awake, y'all. Still working on my coffee. And I want to welcome Phyllis, Patrick, and Dodds Antom Volker. Welcome. And Gala. And I wanted to say I have 12 fiction published, 5 nonfiction, and I've been teaching for 20 years. And here's Gala. Gala, introduce yourself. Hi, Carlton.
Hi, welcome to today's topic. I'm super excited about today's topic. I am an author of 9 romance books with my co-author under the name of Willa Drew. I'm writing an urban fantasy right now that is getting a little like thrillery vibes now. I'm like, I don't know, in a good way. And I work as a writing coach, and I also am like a writing educator. So I work with people one-on-one. I do small group classes. My next class is coming up in September. And I love talking with Beth about all the different craft things. This is our last one for now for the writing craft. And then next month, we're going to start talking about all of the different writing book marketing things, which is also super exciting. So there's going to be a lot to share.
Yeah, a lot to share. And hello, I see a hello from Carlton, a hello from Patrick. If you want, please put in the chat, what are you working on? What kind of book are you working on? What's your genre? And also, where are you at in the writing process? And we take writing questions. So if you have any kind of writing question, marketing question, publishing question, editing question, we're both very experienced in the whole process. So you're welcome to drop that into the chat or add it to the post once it goes live, or email us. We're both on Substack. So, and I just want to shout out that I actually do a live call once a month where I help you with your edits if you're a science fiction and fantasy writer. And then I also have a deeper, more intensive mastermind where I do the same thing.
Great. I just went to it last month. It's super, super amazing.
Yeah. And that was so great having Gala there. And we talked about opening lines. So I thought I would excerpt some of that and bring it to you all. And then Gala, you're going to add on to those tips, and we're going to have a little discussion. And we go about 30 minutes. So let's dive in with tip number 1. Before we do, I want to say Patrick is sharing with us ideas scattered across too many stories right now, mostly working on a fantasy, but really spluttering for now. Well, this might get you working. One of my favorite things to do when I teach is get people writing. So you're welcome to play along, because what I'm going to offer is actually a little 3-step process. And I say little in the French term of endearment, right? Both Gal and I speak French. The French use the word little is a term of endearment. That's really what I meant, not little as in small. Okay. All right. So number one, start with a clear base sentence. If your goal is to make a nice, beautiful, strong opening sentence for your book, it doesn't happen naturally. We work at it. We all work at it, right? How many times have you rewritten your opening? How many times have I rewritten my opening sentence? I've lost count, right? We've lost count. Totally normal. Totally normal. And hello to Phyllis. Welcome in. So you want to ground your reader in most contemporary genre fiction, and I would say all contemporary genre fiction, right? You want to ground your reader in the story. So you want to have a very specific point of view character. You want to use a specific verb, and I like to call them strong verbs, but specific, it's going to be strong in its own way. And so we want to know who the actor is. So that's the subject. We're going into grammar, y'all. We want to know who is speaking. Say their name, or use a pronoun, or use a job title. But really, usually people are gonna, it depends on your point of view, right? Point of view plus specific verb plus the object or the action. Very simple sentence. And I don't have an example. So someone gets to write an example for us and put it in the chat. How about that? You guys do the work. Thanks, Patrick. Also in Northern Irish, little equals we, but in a nice Oh, yes.
I cannot do an Irish accent. I feel like Scottish too. Because when I feel like when I was watching Outlander, they were always talking about a wee something or other, kind of like as a term of endearment.
Mm-hmm. So go ahead and write for us a sentence. POV. I'm just going to use one of my characters. Let's see. Janie is my space station investigator. So I'm going to say, I might even say if I were in my very first sentence, Janie McAllister, space station investigator. So a new reader will know who she is. Space station investigator. I like to use run, but I know that can be overused. So, but for a base sentence, let's say dashed. She's dashing. She's in a hurry. Dash down the station. I like to add a description of setting. She's on the station. There's a lot of plants. The station's plant-filled corridor. All right, nothing super fancy. We know who is speaking, what she is. We have an action going, and we know she's dashing. And now we have a setting. We've also signaled to the reader that it's a space station. We've kind of hinted, right? We didn't say space station, we said station. Evidently, it's probably going to be a space station, right? The reader doesn't know for sure, but plant filled. Wow.
Interesting, like some
Interesting.
dissonance there.
Yeah. Space station with lots of plants. Ooh, here Patrick writes us one. Arnold opened another can. Contents rotten, just like all the others. Fabulous. And your your opening sentence of Arnold opening another can it's intriguing, and it's another. We're like, oh, what is this guy doing, needing to open another can? Nice.
And it kind of drops us in the scene, right? We're not like, oh, hello, hi. It's kind of like, okay, this is happening.
This
I
is
feel
happening.
like this is happening.
Absolutely. And anybody else want to share a first sentence with us? It could be from a work in progress. You can invent it. Like I invented this first sentence. It does relate to the work in progress. So that's cool.
I had also opened up a bunch of books. There was one more book that I wanted to read the first sentence from that I can't find right now, but it's okay. I do not know if you want me to share. Oh, it's on the shelf over there.
One that's right near you. Is it from one of your books?
I have one from one of my books. I brought two of my books that I had the first sentences from. So one of them is "Fame follows me everywhere."
Nice. Fame follows me everywhere, and that's first person. So when you're doing first person, I think your base sentence might be more declarative like that, and tell us about a state of being. I thought, oh, that's awesome. Patrick picked his out of thin air too. Go ahead, Gal. You have another one?
Yeah, and so the way I do it, I always put in the name of the character, because usually in romance with dual POVs, especially, you have to, so that way at least people know that who it is that it's speaking. Another one that I have from my book, and then I wanted to read one from another book. The other one is "Someday this will all be mine."
Another like declarative
Yeah,
statement of being. Yeah,
I write in first
great.
person.
And also, if you're in third person, you can also do that. And we played with that in our mastermind class, where you can write even if your story is third person past tense, your first sentence could be written in present tense about a statement that is true. So let's get into it. And Patrick says, brilliant. So awesome. Let's we're going to spice it up. There's a lot of ways to spice it up. Here's just one way. One of my favorites is make the verb do more work. So choose a vivid, active, character true verb that reveals mood, genre, or attitude. So I
have an example for that one too.
Ooh, okay, great. Yeah.
So this one is from Hellbent by Lee Bardugo. And this is kind of like a dark academia thriller, and you can see it's a dead rabbit on the cover of it, right? So which kind of gives you the vibes. And then the first sentence is, "Alex approached Black Elm as if she were sliding up to a wild animal, cautious in her walk up the long curving driveway, careful not to show her fear.
Wow, you've got a whole predator prey thing going on there.
Right?
Yeah,
Right? It's like right away the mood is set. And the verbs that she's using, that's why I wanted this one for this, is Alex approached Black Elm. That is a good strong verb, right?
yeah.
And then as if she were sliding up, so not sliding, sidling up to a wild animal. Like sidling up is as if is also a simile. Um, so yeah, I thought that that was a very good strong verb representation between approached and sidling up. It really
Mm,
puts you in a very specific mood
mm.
via those verbs right away.
Yeah, what a great example. So I do use dashed a lot. So Janie McAllister, space station investigator, dashed down the station's plant field corridor. Now, I could do it. I could do something instead of instead of dashing, she's sneaking. Or maybe, what if I use that verb that was just in your story, sidled, or what?
What if
Anybody,
she crawled?
what
Like
if
that puts her into a completely different, like, what is going on, right? If she crawled down that hallway.
crawling down this corridor? Yeah. Oh no. What if she? I had to do this in my jujitsu class yesterday. Army crawled, which has a very specific, right? She is ex-military, so I would want to use a verb that related to her. Remember, we want to use a
Hmm.
verb that is true to your character. Would they say this? Does this reveal mood or genre? So, anybody want to play with a sentence that has a vivid, active, character true verb that it can reveal one of these things: mood or genre or attitude. You're not trying to have it do everything, one thing. And I tend to think of like, when I am choosing verbs and any word I'm trying to be more specific about, I ask myself, what is the most important emotion that I want to convey here? The most
Like, what is the character feeling? What is going through the character's mind? I will be right back. I'm gonna go walk over there and grab that other book.
Great. Here's another one I use a lot: hustled. Anybody want to give it a try? Start with your base sentence, your character, a specific verb, and your object or action, and then spice up your verb. See what happens. Great. And we're going to give you some more examples.
Sorry, I only have a pile of romance books behind me, so I'm like, no, I wanted to show you a different genre because the different genres actually like do a different representation.
Yeah.
Um,
And I'm going to read the first sentence from Into the Black, the first Janie book.
oh, go for it.
Okay. So this one is okay. So this tells us something about her. See if you can find out, hear the verb in the sentence. From her elevated vantage point on the stairs, Janie McAllister, lead investigator of L'Etoile's security team, scanned the crowd of gamblers for the elusive pickpocket, the thief who'd been striking every night for the last few weeks. And there's,
Yeah,
anyone catch the verb in there? Anyone catch the verb?
and
Scanned, yes.
I shouldn't be the
Scanned. My main character, Janie, she has an ocular implant. So my go-to verb for her is to see, to watch, to scan. I try and use a lot of verbs that are around seeing because that is her superpower. Not everyone has, and so this is a little sidebar character development. Every character, it's really powerful to assign not only like an adjective, but also a verb. Patrick's got one for us. Alex stumbled forward, dazed and numb, reaching out with his unbroken hand. Oh my goodness.
ooh, amazing. That gives
Yeah.
us so much right away. Yeah.
Yeah. Great. I'm hooked. Now, a note about opening sentences: they are just to hook the reader, a little taste, a little appetizer, so that they read the next sentence. And they are signaling so much to the reader. And that's why we work so hard on them in
Yeah.
revisions. Yeah. Great job, Patrick. Great job. Anyone else want to share a first sentence? And even if you're not sure, you have one to
Yeah,
read.
I have another one, the book that I was going so this is kind of like this is an Irish book. Uh um Angela Flannery, The Amusements. So it's kind of a little bit of a literary fiction-y vibe. And this is about a particular place I visited, Tremor. It's a town, kind of like almost like I want to say like the Jersey Shore of Ireland. Maybe I'm going to be offending that town, but it's like a very summer destination place, and it's very sleepy during the evening, during the winter. Um, it was off season, and the local youngsters were up to no good in Tip Phelan's caravan park.
Lovely, lovely. Yes, we want to know up to no good. What are they
Like
doing?
what's going on? And the youngsters, then you kind of know what's the vibe of the story and what is it about. So yeah.
That's so great. Phyllis has a great question. Do you draft the sentence first and then go back and check if you hit these elements? Short answer, yes, absolutely. During the first drafting period, I really recommend that you write sloppily, write poorly, write however you write. You should see my first drafts. To say they're messy is an understatement. Poor punctuation, poor spelling, even like I'm typing fast and the words are even wrong sometimes. Yes, just first drafts, please just write, give yourself total permission. It's a really great practice to really give yourself lots of permission, lots and lots and lots and lots of permission, and let yourself fall down, get up, fall down, get up, and just keep going. And then when you're done and the manuscript is cooled off and you've cooled off, then start your revisions.
Yeah.
Phyllis says, in Gala's example and Beth's, both sentences start with setting. Yes, because there's three very important things. I learned this from Lisa Crone's book, Wired for Story. She put it so beautifully. It's over there on my shelf. Oh, there, let me grab it.
We have too many books between the two of us.
Writing books, Wired for Story. I met her at a writers conference. She's wonderful. Very, she knows her stuff. But she said, a reader wants to know where they are, who they are, and why they are there. Some hint at the why. So it's very important that you use some hint of setting as soon as possible. Actually, in Gala's two examples, yeah, no such thing as too many books, Patrick says. Absolutely. I think I've shared this in a, here's just two of my bookshelves. But these are the, yeah, and I have some right there, but those are my books over there. Look at all the books behind Gala.
It's like in a good way too many. Yeah, I have a bunch there, but also like if you shouldn't be seeing that, but like on the floor behind me,
Yeah.
I have piles of books because I'm out of space on my shelves, and my goal is like once every 6 months, I just go through the books, and I'm like, okay, these ones I can donate, and then I put the other ones on the shelf. I have not done that, and then I have more shelves over there too, and then I have more shelves in the hallway, and then I have more shelves in my bedroom. It's yeah. It's
Yes.
in a good way too many books. I love them. I love hoarding books.
Me too. Me too. Yeah. Yes, lots of craft books, but have I read them all yet? No, I know, me neither. Like that Business of Being a Writer by Jane Friedman.
It's a good one.
I haven't read it.
Yeah, it's a very helpful one. And with craft books, one of the things that I recommend, I started it for myself now, for 3 years ago. If there is a book that I really want to do and like read and like apply, and I have trouble doing it, I now form a group of people and I say, hey guys, do you want to do? That's how I started with the writers, with the artist way by Julie Cameron. I'm like, okay, friends who knows me, how about once a month we meet and we go chapter by chapter across this book. We all read a chapter, then we discuss it, and then we apply. And that's how I've motivated myself to actually do a lot more of not just reading craft books, but applying them and doing the exercises. So
That's
I'm
so
tricky.
Yeah, that's wonderful. What a great idea. Amanda says, just read page 1 to Done by Jessica Brody, and that was really helpful. I haven't read
That is
that
a
yet.
new one because she's the one who is write the novel, Save the Cat, write the novel one, and this was a new one that she was advertising. I'm gonna read that one. Thank you, Amanda. I'm totally gonna read that
That was
one.
really awesome. Yeah.
I wanted to read one more sentence that two more sentences, and they're like very different from a different book. So this one is Station 11. I do not know if it's kind of like a sci-fi, but it's both a sci-fi dystopian book, and also a lot of it has to do with a traveling troupe of performers in a post-apocalyptical time. And I really like this first sentence. Like, I think I wanna read the first two sentences, but the very first sentence is, "The king stood in a pool of blue light, unmoored."
Wow.
Right?
Oh, wow. Beautiful. Yeah.
The king in the blue light unmoored, you're like, okay, it must be a play, because if a king is standing in the blue light, right? And then the next sentence says, "This was Act 4 of King Lear, the winter night at the Alien Theater in Toronto." So then it kind of continues you
Pick them.
into
Yeah.
that. And then I have another one. This is the book that I originally went to. I think this is one of the longest first sentences that I have ever read. It's probably not the longest one, but it's one of them for the book. But it also sets very much the kind of book this is and the kind of prose Elizabeth Gilbert is writing here. I think this is my favorite book by Elizabeth Gilbert. Okay, buckle up. It's a long first sentence. For the first 5 years of her life, Alma Whitaker was indeed a mere passenger in the world, as we all are passengers in such early youth. And so her story was not yet noble, nor was it particularly interesting, beyond the fact that this homely toddler passed her days without illness or incident, surrounded by a degree of wealth nearly unknown in the America of that time, even within elegant Philadelphia. It's a
Hmm.
very, very, very long sentence. It's like half of a paragraph, but we get a lot from it. And I feel one of the things that I like about it, we get the style. Like, that is the style the book is written in. And from that very first sentence, you get introduced to it, and you kind of are going to make that judgment call. Oh, do I want to read something in
Hmm.
that style or not? Because it is very particular that way. So it's kind of like historical fiction
Hmm.
vibes.
Very much so. I love that Phyllis brought up this Japanese language word that I had in my mind, but I didn't know specifically. Sandoku. I think it means collecting books without expectation of reading all of them. That's wonderful. And I think also it has a connotation of that's a beautiful thing. A friend of I was just talking about this word with a friend of mine the other day who were both bookaholics, and we were discussing this. We were both bemoaning all our books, but in a lovely way, like, oh, we have all these books, we haven't read it. Patrick says, "Love a long opening sentence if it does the job well," which that did. Yes. And some praise for Station 11. I want to come to the third tip, because this totally ties in with the examples you've been sharing, which is, I'm putting it in the chat, add specificity and contrast. Layer in concrete details, sensory cues, or a contrast. So the opening line creates tension and curiosity. So we can take our base sentence, add in with our specific subject, verb, and object or action, and then we can specify and make our verb more specific to connote who the character is or how they're feeling or their attitude. We get to make a choice there. And then another choice, we can add in these concrete details, like that one about the spotlight. That was a blue light. Maybe in the first revision it wasn't a blue light, maybe it was just a light, or maybe it was a spotlight, but saying blue light, right, that creates this really interesting vision. I thought it was a sci-fi opening because you had mentioned sci-fi, so I'm like, oh, this could be a sci-fi moment, but whatever it is, it's evocative, and it brought us in. So I often, in my first drafts, are pretty pared down. I give myself some hints or clues as to where I am and what the characters are doing and why they're doing it. And then in revisions, I'm making choices. I rewrite a lot of things to try this, try that. So I might think, oh, well, maybe they're in the garden. No, instead of the garden, maybe they're in the council room. No, instead of the council room, what if they were like running down the hill? Ooh, okay. What if I change that dialogue or change this moment and put it in this setting? So I also play a lot with changing where things are and then playing with the mood of the description of the setting. Do I want to make it light? Do I want to make it serious? Do I want to make it full of tension? There's a lot of choices. So yeah.
Could you also read the sentence that your husband wrote for his thriller that you gave us in the master class?
Yeah. Let me see. Let me grab the book. It's open.
I really love that one. But I think a lot of the specificity also automatically signals the genre.
Yeah. So it's the Torah Codes, Ezra Barany. It's a thriller, contemporary thriller, with a tiny bit of supernatural in it. There is a prologue, but so here's his first sentence. Digging up a corpse beneath Digging up a corpse buried underneath a busy sidewalk creates all sorts of problems. So even though the book, so we're getting right into the head of the POV character, and he thinks there's a corpse under a busy sidewalk, and that tells us a lot about his state of mind. And I won't spoil it for you. You have to read it. It's a book one of a 4-book series, The Tarot Codes. Really fun.
And I also always love all of you guys' covers. I think that you did such an excellent job with covers.
Oh, thanks. I love, let's see, Phyllis has a comment. I think the opening line could also signal how high the stakes are. Yes. Or drop a clue that the narrator or other characters could be unreliable. Yes. Anything to hook in the reader's interest. Yes, very much so. And you could play it so many different ways. I was just curious to read the opening line in book 2 of my sci-fi mystery series, Lured by Light, because I have read the other first line a lot, but I haven't reread this a lot in classes. Let's see, what do we got? Oh. Janie McAllister sipped the vermouth she'd been nursing the last hour and pondered the stars in the Skybar screen viewer.
The Skybar screen viewer sets us in sci-fi, and then she's clearly in the thinking, like something has her mind occupied.
Yes.
Right, there's a problem, is what that is signaling me. Like not all is well, but there is a problem, and she's trying to figure it out, and she's in a sci-fi setting. Yeah.
And then I go on to describe setting, and then I talk about black holes, and I say, scientists said there was a massive black hole at the center of the Orion Nebula where all matter near it had disappeared, just like her love life. So we're also actually within the first paragraph, we have her ruminating about the ex or the boyfriend or whatever he is. She doesn't know.
Setting up the romantic subplot right there.
Yep. And then a case is going to happen. A case happens right within like the next page, or starts.
Yeah.
I wanted this book to have a little bit of a quieter opening, and I can't even tell you why, but it suited her mood, So sometimes openings will not have high stakes. Instead, they'll be quieter. And because it's book 2 in a series, we know it's a sci-fi mystery series. There's like quiet before the storm. So that is also another form of hook. Example, Gala?
Well, I personally, by examples of the ones in my book, I personally almost always gravitate to like those declarative statement first lines. And I was looking at all of the different romance books, and like a lot of them have them. So I wonder if it is part of the genre expectation. Because I looked at like The Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. The first one is conscription day is always the deadliest. So it's very much a declarative sentence. This one is Beach Read by Emily Henry, another romance. I have a fatal flaw. This one is The Flat Share by Beth Leary, the one I told you where they share the same apartment, but one stays there at night, one stays there during the day. You've got to say this for desperation. It makes you much more open-minded. So I wonder, I'm going to go and like look into it and see if romance books tend to do declarative sentences as their opening lines more.
Yeah.
I don't know. Or is this like a random selection thing?
Right. Here's Gone Green, book 3 in the Janie McAllister mystery series. I had forgotten I did this. Here's the first 2 sentences. What are you doing here? The question just popped out of Janie's mouth. So I've often heard said, don't start your book with dialogue, but it gets us right there, because in the next sentence, I'm telling you who she's talking to and what's going on, and we get right into
it's just a higher skill thing. I would say if you are a beginner, it might just be harder to land on a very good opening line of dialogue for the opening of the book. But I think people who, as you get more skill and as you really know how to write your dialogue really well, then you can make it a star. And in that case, it's just kind of like the dialogue and whatever action beat that happens right after needs to do a lot of heavy lifting, and you need to know how to how to work those. You need to know how they can do that type of work.
Right.
So it's not that generic, because dialogue in general, it requires so much specificity and so much of all of those things that the opening lines require. So I think, to me, it makes sense that they would also work as first opening lines, but they're also very tricky for a lot of beginner writers. So
And you have
that's
a
where I would
resource,
caution people.
you have a resource that you will be selling soon on dialogue, right?
Oh,
Let's do a
you're
little
so
promo,
good at
and then
plugging things in for
that's
me.
right. And then we're gonna go. We're gonna go. We do have a question from Phyllis, and then we'll wrap it up with our little promo announcements. Maybe easier to start with a dialogue with subsequent books in a series because the reader already knows the characters, yes, and is already invested in them. And that was book 3. And I just
Yeah.
wanted, just for similarly in book 4, Red Running Deep, the very first line is, "It all happened so fast." So, and then we just jump right into action. And the reader actually by now has a guess about probably what's about to happen.
Going on.
So it is
Yeah,
that.
I in the series that I one of the, like the one that I started with the fame, what we did, me and my co-author, we actually made it so that each first line is kind of a hint to the same thing. In the theme, I'm gonna read you all 3, and you're gonna tell me what the theme is. So the first book, the opening line is, "Fame follows me everywhere." The second book, the first line is, oops, if I can open the first line, "I've always been famous." And then the third one, how you having guesses what it's gonna be? Hang on, trying to find the first page. "What is the price of fame?" Question mark.
And the winner is, everyone got what that repeating theme is. That's great. Fame. That's great. So let's wrap up for today. Keep an eye out for our Substack announcements. In 2 weeks, we're going to jump over into marketing. We're taking next week off, holiday here in the United States, holiday weekend, and then we're going to vacation. Hooray. So one of the topics we'll be talking about in July is how to use Substack to build your following, even as a fiction writer and or nonfiction. You're so welcome, Patrick. Also, we'll both be speaking at several summits coming in July. Stay tuned for those. David Wallace has a fabulous writing-oriented summit coming, and Monica Leonel, hers is more on the business side of things, which we're both going to be talking about creative entrepreneurship, which is very exciting. And I have spots in my mastermind as well as in my Edit Lab. In fact, the Edit Lab price goes up after tomorrow. Right now it's $5 a month. Phyllis is in that. And once a month, we get together and we edit pages together. We do some teaching and take questions. It's a great way to come together and get support. And Gala, you have a class coming in September and some wonderful products coming, one on dialogue. I
just was telling Beth I was working yesterday from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. putting together this. You would say, how could you spend that much time on a 7-page workbook?
And it's
This
going
is
to be for sale soon. So,
so
so keep an eye out for that. And
the essential layer your dialogue from talking heads to immersive scenes.
Ooh, I love it. Amanda says David's pretty good. So is the Book Finisher Summit. Yes, today's the last day for the Book Finisher Summit. My talk went up today on how to write your author branding statement. So be sure to take a listen.
I'm gonna go watch that.
You're so welcome, Phyllis. Yes, looking forward to David's summit and Beth's presentation. Yes, I'm teaching. Ooh, I haven't done it yet, but I've been thinking about it. It's going to be so fun. So I'm not even going to announce it because it's
I already recorded my presentation with Daniel, and it's either genius or is going to confuse people, but I think it's genius.
It's going to be great. I think it's going to be great. And both of us have Substack, so be sure to follow along. Both of us take in welcome tips from folks. If you like today, you're welcome to pop in some money in that tip jar. And I also wanted to share that I have a shop where I sell things. Kofi. How do we all say it? Kofi.
I say Kofi because it's kind of like coffee, but
It is like coffee. Yeah. So I sell some things, and I have a wonderful prompt pack if you need ideas, get yourself going. I had created these fabulous images with each one with a prompt. And some of my other writing books are there. So everyone have a safe holiday if you're in the United States, and stay cool. It's like hot everywhere.
Yes.
And we're flying into a hotter zone than here. Oh my goodness. And happy writing. And we'll see you next time.
See you in 2 weeks. Bye,
Bye.
guys.